Hi guys, welcome back to the RodReacts show. As you can see, I'm getting a bit of messages here. It's kind of interrupting everything here, but we'll continue over that. So today I'm sitting down with the person behind all the updates, information, signings, or news, which comes from Britballers. So I'll let you go and introduce yourself. Tell us, and this is beef.
Appreciate you having me on here. I feel it will be beneficial to talk about British basketball and how we can grow it from your perspective and my perspective. But just on my kind of journey, I started off at the Glasgow Rocks as their junior reporter 3 years ago, I think it might be now.
Yeah.
Around the same time I started my page, Britballers, on Instagram, which at the time was called British Basketball Fan Page. But then in April time we did get more professional, some more news type posts, some more highlight videos and stuff for players. And because of the contacts and the media pass I have at the Glasgow Rocks, I've managed to kind of get that done more so at the Rocks games. But then at the same time, I've managed to get BBL Trophy finals, and then we've went to a few away games, and we got down to the All-Star game to try and cover more content from that side of things.
Okay, all right. So obviously, people, you hear how everything went from where it all started and such. So you mentioned how it's so with kind of the birth of Britballers and such, and kind of expanding more into that. How did you go about that? Like, what was sort of the thought process, or how did it really just more come about?
I feel before we were it was just all me. I was doing everything, I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a wee bit unprofessional, you could say. So then I felt I had to change. I was growing up a little bit. Felt my content had to do the same thing. So we just had a total rebrand, changed the name, changed the bio, changed the logo and everything. Just felt we had to get more news and highlights, as I said previously. And since then, we've been working with some players and some coaches on some more interviews. I did do it a wee bit before, but then I just felt it was time for a bit of a change, because I saw a few other people doing some changes, kind of evolving their pages. So I felt it was the right time around April last year to do it for my page.
Okay, yeah. So you see how that goes about it. So with sort of players and such, like in terms of getting through to them to work with them, such as you sort of reach out, or was it through?
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, the key is just to reach out if you're looking to do stuff like this for anybody watching. It's just reaching out to people. If they say no, you move on to the next player. There's so many players who have things to say about British basketball, have things to do, have content ideas and everything. So it's just about reaching out to people and using your contacts that you have to kind of reach more people, get to more people, and do more content pieces with like a different group of people, if you get me.
Okay, yeah. So mentioning, talking about UK basketball and such. So we know here there is. Well, many people might not think the culture of basketball in the UK is as big as it is. Once you're really kind of into it, and you really follow and stuff, they think it's just sort of a massive hobby for everyone, and they don't realize the talent and such we have. So what are your kind of general thoughts on UK basketball?
I feel obviously it's not at its peak. It has a lot of potential to grow within a lot of communities, a lot of countries, even like Scotland, England, Ireland and Wales. And it's just about kind of getting content out there, like what me and you are doing now, just talking about it, talking about how we can improve, to see if the government will really listen to us. I have made a video previously about like why British basketball isn't as prominent as it is in America, or isn't as prominent as cricket and rugby and football here. So I felt that it got a few thousand views, so it got a few new people. And then just about like what I'm trying to do is get more people, and I'm sure you'll be the same, just get more people involved, using the people you know. And it's just really to get people into the culture and into playing, coaching, watching, and covering the game. So I feel that's what the most important thing is.
Yeah. So yeah, like you say, with getting more people and such, and getting government. So just yeah, sort of adding on to that, is there? Do you feel like there's anything in terms of changing that? So we have a big issue of a lack of funding and such. There's not
Yeah.
as much, and yes, we have the teams have facilities. Do you reckon if, let's say, there was an increase in, different trainers? We have nutritionists, but let's say personal team assigned trainers, nutritionists who will break down different aspects, because sometimes there could be a trainer who, like we see around across Europe and America, they may have trainers for certain bits of the games to analyze this, to work on that and stuff. You feel like if that's what was introduced in a way here, that it would increase also the level of basketball here?
Yeah, I feel the talent we have here does have potential, as you know, obviously watching maybe Cameron Hildreth, Elijah Walsh, people like that, Alex Dittress as well. But I feel if you had specific coaches, so like shooting coaches or like gym coaches, you do get quite a few strength and conditioning coaches. But if you like specify the coaches who are in organisations, both BBL and colleges and universities, I feel Loughborough are a good kind of university to look at about it. They seem to do it quite well. They've got their own nutritionist, their own strength and conditioning coach, their shooting coaches, some general just team coaches. And you obviously see in the way that they play how it totally benefits them. And I feel more clubs, universities and colleges around the country could really learn from them and a few other teams about how to really coach players to their maximum potential.
I was also, I remember I was talking with someone as well, just about in terms of BB and everything. The kind of entry process into it isn't as highlighted or obvious to many people. Do you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you reckon with let's say, not necessarily there has to, well, let's say a sort of draft where, let's say, people from universities and or maybe colleges, they will sort of I know they do send, some teams do have people, scouts to go and watch and such. But if there was sort of more of a solidified path to it, um, how do you reckon that could work, or sort of how it can go through?
I feel you did make a few good points there, but I feel it's just kind of getting it started in schools, because school leagues, until you get to ABL and EABL, sorry, it's just kind of non-existent slightly. There's
Yeah.
no really coverage too much, apart from a few teams, kind of maybe London area, Birmingham area is quite good school-wise. But a lot of the rest of the country don't really get the coverage in like high school and even primary school, if I've been real, because that's where you need to start playing, or where could be beneficial for players to start playing. But it's just about kind of, I don't know, it's a hard one, but getting more coverage at schools, getting better coaches in at schools, and just more people involved in the school game, scouting wise, as you said, to try and get players into our league and moving further on to leagues such as the NBA and EuroLeague, etc.
Yeah, I do feel like all the coverage in so is like that we have talent in schools, but yeah, like you say, it
Yeah, for
starts
sure.
with, like, when I played basketball in secondary school. Yeah, we had a PE teacher. He wasn't that knowledgeable on basketball
Yeah, for
and
sure.
teach us, but there's a few people who really did like the sport and such, and there was kind of nowhere to go to sort of enhance that, or there was no one there who could really,
Yeah, for sure.
show us and improve it. Because then I did play then, but it wasn't as frequent and often and such. Just maybe lunchtime and break time here and there. But it's not like we
Yeah,
knew
for sure.
everything was doing. It's only until I got to college where they formed a team, and I had a coach who played in the London Lions as well,
Yeah,
and he really did kind of teach me basketball from the start to.
yeah.
And within like 6 months, I knew so much and I improved so much. And you're just like, this is at 19. So imagine now, from school, this happens,
Yeah,
how different the level would be from
absolutely.
there. Yeah. So that is true. It's definitely something that needs to go in there. And
Yeah, for sure.
just sort of approaching the government as well, just with the fund.
Absolutely.
I know they don't want to fund because in terms of winning, like there's nothing being brought back. But if you don't, put in, you're not going to get out. You're going to get whatever you do,
Absolutely.
the minimum.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There was another question I was going to ask as well. There, just in terms of media as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do. Some people get coverage as like. Mainly it's like people like you as well, that's where I've kind of really kept up with it and such as well, and you know watching it through the YouTube streams, but sort of having those content where it's not is the kind of the players with the public as well, like let's say just in general, like what I was saying, let's say if I have I train with the London Lions team, or do sort of a one-on-one video and things like that. Do you reckon that can also boost the popularity of basketball?
Yeah, I feel Hoops Fix are doing a really good job
Yeah.
in being like the overtime or the Ballers Life, sorry, of the UK. But we could do with like maybe flights really popular now in America. We could do with a flight of the UK or a Devontae Freeger of the UK or AJ LePray or someone like that who promotes content, promotes basketball, shows 1v1s, shows training sessions, pickup sessions and everything. I feel both of them would both really benefit. And even if we get someone from America who's been doing YouTube content and stuff, I feel that could help. There's been rumours before about LeAngelo Ball, Julian Newman as well, going to the Lions. So I feel something like that could help as well, boosting the popularity with like a not household, but a popular name for American basketball fans, so they become interested in British basketball. I feel all of them would really benefit the game.
Yeah, it's true. Just having that as well, and even the kind of collaboration, just kind of go squeeze it into EuroLeague and such. How what is being pushed and going forth. Like you kind of see the difference. You go to Spain, Italy, France.
Yeah.
All sport there is huge. Like basketball, and even in terms that's one with facilities as well. There's not a lot of facilities like that, and if they
Yeah.
are, is mainly with schools who maybe they might overcharge. Like I remember for 1 hour,
So expensive. Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna go play basketball with about like 3-4 friends in school, and it was almost like I think like £80 plus for the hour, and it's like you go when I've gone France now, free walking indoor gym, you're playing all day,
Yeah. I know.
so that is really a big thing with the facilities and starting from
For
young.
sure. And it's not only that, you do get badminton on there, you get futsal lines on there, tennis and everything. So it's a wee bit not fully basketball, if you get me. So
Yeah.
it'd be good to see fully basketball facilities, playing courts, no netball lines, badminton lines, and all that, because you see that a lot in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Badminton is one thing that's always in the way, like every single time since from college is always badminton's taken over, and it's like, okay, I understand maybe we should kind of separate these facilities, and then then it could be a whole different thing, a whole new thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So is there sort of well, depending on what you can say, because it's quite limited. So is there anything that you're sort of working on or working towards, in a sort of in a brief, so it's not the whole thing, just a little
Yeah.
stuff.
There's been a few things. Obviously, it was a pain because COVID-19 kind of stopped.
Yeah.
It would have been good to get some playoff basketball for Britballers content, some playoff interviews, seeing how players are feeling about that. But we just did an awards kind of ceremony there. But I feel next year for that, we're going to push forward a lot. Hopefully, maybe get a sponsor in for that. Maybe do it live, or actually get maybe a hall or something in Glasgow for players to come down or up, and just kind of expand that way. But more on the content side of things, I've thought about YouTube previously, I've thought about Facebook previously, but I recently got onto TikTok, and on there we've had a few videos with a couple thousand views. One got about 90,000 views, I think. So I feel we're going to go Instagram and TikTok. I feel that will be my main focus for that, and then maybe a bit of YouTube. So hopefully next year I'll be able to expand even more.
Yeah, we like to hear that, because every sort of thing whoever's doing, such is just good to also hear. And then, as a collective, you have more people from different sides doing different things, and it's easier to cover now a wide range across the country and such. So
yeah, for sure.
that's really good. So at this point now is kind of quick fire rounds. Question, anything. So this could be anything to do with basketball or content or brand or such. Any sort of questions you'd like to kind of ask or pick out there for me?
What was your playing career like? I know you mentioned a bit about playing in high school and then in college, but what was like your full path in your career?
Okay, so with me, like I said, I started basketball properly in college, 19 years old, the year before I was going to go to uni. So through that, it really, helped me fall in love with the game.
Yes.
Wanting to play it all the time, every single day, as much as possible. So I started off there, and I was lucky enough to have a great coach in Coach Perry, who really, I don't know how he done it or how I done it, but I really improved. So that when I went to uni in Nottingham Trent, in my first year, I was playing for the first team. So I made it through to the trials, and I really performed. And so in first year of uni, I played. Then I started to dunk. So because of that, now I got a bit excited. And I thought, okay, now I need to try to dunk over people and such and everything. And, during the game, I hurt myself. Was out for a bit, but came back and then continued to play throughout uni. And because of that, and, kind of shifting inside. So when I first started, I was playing the 2 guard. Then, shifting size and such and everything, I started to kind of expand and play the 3 and the 4 and such. And, it all started through then. And then since then, I've just kept on playing. Now, recently, I did play in After Work League, which, my team was fortunate enough to win. It would have been really good for someone to kind of be, for example, media, sort of like you're saying, like a ball is life sort of, but you could like but just with everywhere, even if it's something small, because a lot of content. And yeah, now I play as much as I do and as much as I can, quite a lot, about 3-4 times a week, just recreational with people. We kind of have our own mini league session that we set up. And yeah, but I do aim to hope to actually start, whether it be seasonal or all round at first, just a sort of mini league where players can create their own team and then continuously play. So it could be separate, let's say for example, say London, the different corners of London there, and then
for sure, that's really cool.
Yeah, in Scotland now, that, and so then once in your own division you've reached, then it becomes the highest teams from different cities in the UK to then face each other. So that's one.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Yeah, it'd be interesting. So where do you think the best place basketball's taking you, either on the content side or playing side?
Where was that one?
Where's the best place basketball's taking you, like either country or city-wise?
I think the best place is I want to say France, because I really got to experience a whole new culture over there with basketball. But also in London, the NBA game and such coming around as well.
Yeah, for sure.
See that, and that was kind of a good experience. And it would have been good to kind of merge that with BBL players as well and everything. And
Yeah.
but that's I'll say France, the culture over there as well is sort of is everywhere, and you just they really really do love their sport. What about you? Where's the best place basketball has taken for you?
I'm going to say France as well. It was only a visit. It was only like a week-long visit, I think it was, but we managed to get into Paris and go to Pigalle, which is amazing. Like, best court I've been to. It's just, the artwork's unreal. And they've just done it up again, so I'm hoping to go again. But other than that, on the same trip, we went down to London for the All-Star game.
Yeah.
The British Basketball All-Star game. And the same trip we went to Sheffield for Glasgow Rocks away game, and I managed to cover some of that on Britballers and did a few interviews with players and coaches there. But as you said with London, I always like Glasgow. I like the BBL trophy. I like going there. I've been there 2 years. 2 years in a row for media, and I went the year before just as a fan. But this year, just after I won an award in a BBC competition, Simon Hosanna, the MC, got me onto the court to speak in front of 1,500 people about my award. So that was probably up there with some of the best things that have happened, to be honest. That was a really good experience.
Yeah, that must have been sick, just kind of speaking about everything in front of that large of a crowd as well. I hope it aims that to be a constant thing as well, and that can just continuously grow and just for the whole culture of basketball to improve here. Because even just the video will be coming out. I'll say next week, and so I did speak to Ball is London, the person behind that, and it was really interesting with that. And I even recently spoke to the partner and head coach of the London Lions as well, and seeing what he was doing and such, and that was really interesting too. So it's just sort of building from there as well.
Yeah, for sure. I feel the Lions could do big things if they kind of progress in the Champions League. I think that would be really interesting, as we saw a few years ago with Leicester. But hopefully the Lions can push a bit further and make it into the group stages, and then hopefully progress in future years from there.
Yeah. Well, Ross, that was lovely speaking to you, kind of getting your mind and knowledge. It's also good to kind of speak to the media side of UK basketball, just to make different connections. And, hopefully in the near future, there's some things we can work on and do and such. Yeah. We'll have that conversation and kind of go from there.
Yeah, for sure. I really appreciate you taking the time and having me on.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Do something again soon.
No problem. Yeah, 100%. Something soon. Hopefully, it'll come, especially after.
Sure. That's good.
And then,
after COVID.
Yeah, post-COVID.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go.
No problem. All right, well,
I appreciate you.
Nice speaking to you. No problem.
Look, check it, and I don't need motivation. Me, I had that when I was stuck up in the station.